Good afternoon, preppers. I'm sure you've already heard, it's all over in the news, a Chinese balloon over North American airspace. We're going to go into this. I need you to stick through this video. It's super important because there very well may be something going on here that most people aren't even aware of. And quickly, if you've not heard about it, here's an article. Chinese spy balloon forecast to fly over these states in the next few hours. It's important to see which states. First, it was sighted over Billings, Montana. Really? They couldn't pick it up before that? And they're actually looking at air trajectories. However, it's not a typical balloon. They can navigate it and simply just doesn't go with the air jet streams. Now they're saying it went from Montana, Nebraska, Kansas, and into Missouri. And the first thing that's important to understand is Montana is home to 3 domestic nuclear missile silo fields, and the balloon went straight over them. And they said the U.S. nuclear missile fields are the target of this intelligence gathering mission. And you can see right here the path it's actually taking. Also, very important, the projected trajectory of the balloon could place it near Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, which also has nuclear capabilities. Far more than that, by the way. Okay, let's get into some of the things they're not discussing. This is so vital. Actually, I would ask, first of all, why not shoot it down? They say it would actually cause possibly massive civilian casualties. Why did they not detect it before Montana? And the thing is, eastern Montana is so sparse, if they're worried about civilians, that would have been the perfect time. But you know what? Now it's way too late. They also just simply claim it's a surveillance balloon, and they completely are stuck on this. Maybe they have more intelligence than we do. They're not releasing what they know about this balloon. I'll tell you that because the Pentagon had a briefing, and it was over and over again saying, no comment, no comment. We can't give you any comments on that. It may be a surveillance balloon, but stick with me on that too, because even if it is, that doesn't make this any less of a situation. But when it comes to this, they see a huge payload on the bottom of the balloon, and sure enough, it may simply be trying to film our silos. A lot of that stuff can be seen by satellite anyway, you know what I'm saying? But simply just doing an observation of this payload, they've already been sold that it's absolutely a surveillance balloon, and I think that's absolutely detrimental. That's a bad strategic reasoning for this. Okay, he continuously wouldn't comment on it, but one thing that they may be considering, and I hope they are, is have you ever heard of a deception? Putting out some packages on this payload to make it look like there's cameras and such on there. What if it's an EMP device? It could literally cripple a large part of the country, if not all of it, in one shot. And I know people always talk about EMPs are coincided with nuclear detonations, and that's true. And if there is a nuclear device on there, I think we should be able to detect that. I'll be honest with you, from what I understand of the situation. But an EMP device is simply electronic. We would never even know it's even there. And if they've actually developed that technology, then we're in trouble. Because here's the thing. Here's something you need to know. In the United States, we have that technology, by the way. We have the technology to launch off an EMP without a nuclear detonation, completely frying electronics at will. And China has been well known to steal our technology constantly and consistently, and they very well have made done the same thing. And what a strategic advantage it would be by simply setting an EMP off right in the center of the United States, because it's getting very close to that location right now. So my question is this. Let's go ahead and play this game and say, yeah, maybe there's civilians on the ground. We don't want to shoot it down. Why don't we simply just send up one of our EMPs and detonate it next to the thing and render it completely inoperable? I can't go into the details of this, but it is made publicly known that in the United States, we do have EMP devices that are not nuclear. We could easily completely deactivate that balloon in one shot. And at the very least, send a signal to China, your balloons are no good here. Okay, it would completely leave it inert and dead. And that's even not the whole problem, because, that would solve it, wouldn't it? But think about this, arms races. As we see the United States, unfortunately, in a lot of ways going down. Again, we still have amazing tech, and we're doing incredible stuff. And we have the potential for doing incredible things, but you've seen the state of our country. It is not a good state by any means. While China's on the rise, arms races. Arms races, even though it sounds funny about this, is not always about what arms you have. It's about propaganda, letting people know what kind of arms you have and such. Granted, we always have those monkey republics who do their little missile launch or those little missile parades and stuff while everybody's saluting and showing their red stars and stuff, saying, look what we have. The United States, we're not about that, because the United States is already perceived as being the top dog when it comes to technology and arms. But there's other countries that are stepping up the game. Just like we worried about Sputnik as basically was sent over the United States, this is something basically you should look at as being the new Sputnik. It's the Chinese Sputnik. Basically, China is giving us the middle finger saying, you know what are you going to do about this? As we're doing what we can to try to get surveillance from them, I'm sure Chinese satellites are already watching these areas anyways. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion, as if it's simply surveillance. It's the whole propaganda effect about this. China is basically flipping us off and saying, look, we're going to send this over there. And guess what? Our leaders are simply saying, oh, it's okay. We're not going to shoot it down. We're not going to do anything about this. We're on top of it. We're watching it. Okay? That is such a bad strategy, because in these cases, granted, I'm not about doing a monkey republic parade of nuclear missiles down the streets of Washington. I think that's ridiculous. But by acting strong in the situation, shooting it down, in my opinion, should have been the first thing. But if not, at least rendering it completely inoperative through an EMP is something we should do. We should not tolerate this at all. We need to show them who's boss. While China right now is slapping us in the face and we're like, oh, what? Oh, no, it's okay. And we're completely fine with this. Okay? This balloon is sending fear and awe into Americans, while our government is sitting back doing nothing. They sit back and let it idly happen. And again, the balloon can navigate. It's not simply just floating across. And it's heading toward one of our huge nuclear reserves at Whiteman Air Force Base, home of the B-2s. Incredible base, by the way. And these B-2s bombers are incredible and nuclear capable, and the balloon's heading toward that direction. Will it head right over? We'll find out. But as far as in Goshen prepping, guys, we need to be ready and keep watching. And if you actually do have some Faraday cages, it's time to put your electronics in there. This is not a time to play around. This is when we need to be ready, because we have no idea what's happening there. The government may not be taking this seriously, but as preppers and Goshen prepping, we sure are. Anything you add about this, anything you know about this, by all means, put them in the comments below, and we'll keep you updated as we get more news. Thanks for watching.